The Dunning-Kruger Effect. Why incompetent people think they're smarter than they are. You know what's scary? Most of us walk around every day thinking we are smarter, funnier, or more skilled than we actually are. And the worst part? We don't even realize it. There's even a name for this mental trap, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. It explains why your loudest coworker is also the most wrong. Why does your uncle at family dinners argues with experts like he has a PhD in everything? And why some people think lemon juice makes them invisible. Yeah, you heard that right. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand how this bias works, but you'll also be able to spot it in yourself and others. The lemon juice robber. Let's rewind to Pittsburgh, 1995. A man named MacArthur Wheeler walks into a bank with full confidence. No mask, no disguise, nothing. He even looks right into the security cameras and smiles. He robs the place, leaves, and then, because once isn't enough, robs a second bank the same day. By nightfall, police catch him easily using the footage. Now, here's where it gets wild. When they showed him the tape, Wheeler was shocked. His response? "But I wore the juice." What did he mean? He believed rubbing lemon juice on his skin would make him invisible to cameras. Why? Because lemon juice is used in invisible ink. So in his mind, lemon juice equals invisibility cloak. This wasn't just bad luck. This was cognitive bias at work. And his ridiculous mistake inspired two psychologists, David Dunning and Justin Kruger, to dig deeper into why people like Wheeler could be so confidently wrong. What is the Dunning-Kruger effect? The less you know, the more confident you are. Why? Because to know how good you are at something, you first need enough knowledge to recognize your own mistakes. And people at the bottom often don't have that knowledge. It's like playing guitar for the first time, strumming 3 chords, and suddenly believing you're ready to go on tour. Or reading a Wikipedia page about climate change and thinking you can debate climate scientists. Sound familiar? Yeah, because it happens every day. Confidence versus competence. When you know nothing about a subject, your confidence is low. But the second you learn just a little bit, boom, your confidence shoots up. That's the Mount Stupid peak. But as you learn more, you start realizing how complex things really are. Your confidence drops. That's the valley of despair. And only after years of practice and study does your confidence climb back up, but never as high as it was in the beginning. This is the Dunning-Kruger curve. We've all been on it. Real-life examples. In one company survey, 42% of engineers believe they were in the top 5% of all engineers there. Math says, nope. That's impossible. Driving studies show most people believe they're above-average drivers. Again, impossible. By definition, most of us are average. Even seniors, people over 77, rated themselves as average or above-average drivers. You see the pattern? And here's my favorite. An online survey asked men if they could score a point against Serena Williams, the greatest female tennis player in history. 1 in 8 men said yes. 1 in 8. That's like me saying I could dunk on LeBron James. The original Dunning-Kruger studies. To test this, Dunning and Kruger ran experiments. One of my favorites was humor. They asked regular college students to rate the funniness of jokes. Then, they asked professional comedians to do the same. When asked to compare their ability against the comedians, the students, surprise, rated themselves above average. But the truth? The students who performed the worst still thought they were in the top half. In reality, they were in the bottom 12th percentile. That's like being one of the worst in a room, but still believing you're better than most people there. And they didn't just test humor. They tested logic, grammar, reasoning, leadership, even parenting. In every case, the worst performers thought they were way above average. Why this matters? You might be thinking, okay, so people overestimate themselves. Big deal. But it is a big deal. Because this bias shows up everywhere. In business, where bad leaders think they're brilliant. In medicine, where overconfident surgeons can harm patients. In politics, where people argue about policies they don't understand. In everyday life, where we trust the wrong people because they sound confident. Confidence without competence can be dangerous. One chilling case. A surgeon who believed he was the best in his state botched multiple operations, leaving patients injured or dead. He was so blinded by Dunning-Kruger that he thought everyone else was wrong, and only he was right. Why don't people notice? Here's the tricky part. If you're bad at something, you also lack the skills to recognize how bad you are. Think of bad singers auditioning for talent shows. They're shocked when the judges tell them they're terrible. Why? Because they literally can't hear their own mistakes. Dunning explained it this way. Low performers usually don't seek feedback or training because they think they're already good enough. It's only when they actually improve that they can look back and say, "Wow, I used to be awful." But until then, they live happily on Mount Stupid. The flip side. Interestingly, the effect works the other way too. The most skilled people, the top performers, often underestimate themselves. They assume, if I find this easy, then everyone else must too. So while the bottom ranks overestimate, the top ranks underestimate. That's why genuine experts sometimes lack confidence, and fake experts overflow with it. Everyday Dunning-Kruger moments. Think about it. The friend who explains nutrition after watching one TikTok video. The coworker who argues with IT while not knowing how to restart a computer. The guy online who reads one article and suddenly thinks he's an economist. And yes, we've all done it. I've done it. You've done it. Because our brains want us to feel capable, even when we are clueless. How do you avoid the trap? So, how do we fight Dunning-Kruger? 3 things. 1. Stay humble. Remind yourself, you don't know what you don't know. 2. Seek feedback. Find mentors, coaches, or peers who will tell you the truth. 3. Keep learning. The more knowledge you gain, the more accurately you can judge your own ability. Charles Darwin said it best way back in 1871. Ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. The Dunning-Kruger effect isn't just a funny internet meme. It explains why the world is full of loud voices, bad decisions, and misplaced confidence. But it also gives us a roadmap. Recognize your blind spots, embrace criticism, and keep learning. Because the wisest people aren't the ones who claim to know everything. They're the ones who know how much they still don't know. So here's the twist. The people who think they know it all usually don't, and the ones who actually know the most are the first to admit they're still learning. If you take anything from this video, let it be this: stay humble, stay curious, and never stop questioning what you know. And hey, if this opened your eyes, hit that like button so more people can break free from their own blind spots. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the hidden psychology that shapes our everyday lives. Because the next time you catch yourself thinking, "I've got this all figured out," you might just be standing on Mount Stupid. Don't stay there. Keep climbing. See you in the next one.